Are you ready? I love our intro. That's like my favorite part of the entire show.
Oh, to hell with it. Nobody's listening anyway.
That's
That's
staying in forever because no one's ever going to listen to this podcast.
Welcome back to college baseball, sort of.
Welcome back to Major League Baseball, sort of. Are we going to start this thing, or are we just going to keep rambling on for an hour? Either way, I'm good.
All I have to do is the intro, and then we can just keep doing what we're doing.
All right. All right, well, do the intro,
or
damn
you
it.
can just do it, and I could put it earlier.
Do the intro.
No, I wasn't paying attention enough to what was said before this. So
that
That's
sounds
fair.
right. Our producer just not here mentally.
No, our producer's never. Our producer an hour before the podcast. When are we recording again?
No, it was like 3 hours before.
Abandoned 2/3 of our podcast last week.
Yep.
Yeah, that guy sucks.
Our producer that lost an entire episode.
Hey, haven't lost one of those yet.
You know, Fresno is the largest city in the country that doesn't have an interstate going through it, right?
That'd be a hell of a trivia question.
Landon's about to get relegated to the WAC. All right, here we go.
Oh, gee.
Damn.
Excluding wrestling.
Are you ready?
As there's a drive in a deep left field by Castellanos, it will be a home run.
You know, they have those nerds clusters, which is new. Yeah, which is good.
10-5! Touchdown!
Unjustifiably in a position that I'd rather not be in, but the cream rise to the top, oh yeah.
What are we doing?
Wild long faces. We're not dead yet.
Don't worry, nobody's listening anyway.
Welcome to Press Box After Dark. Let's do this damn thing. Today is Thursday, January 16th, and I need some coaching credentials, boys. I need to know which one of you is going to be my next head coach. So lay them on me. Who
I'd like to go first.
Just a nose goes from
yeah.
everybody. Landon, are you going to be my next coach? What's going on here?
Well, I was the interim head coach at Abilene Christian University for about 2 weeks.
That's some good
So
CV right there.
that's my CV. Take it or leave it.
That's true.
I do love how that entire situation played out at ACU. The entire staff gets fired. Landon thinks he's getting fired, and then our boss just goes, "Well, of course we're keeping you, Landon." And Landon's like, "What?"
Okay.
He's just in the hallway by himself for a month.
Literally.
Dude, that was my favorite time of knowing Landon because Landon was like, you know what? If I'm getting fired, everybody in this whole department is getting free football gear. So everybody come down to the football equipment room and get shoes. And then the next thing we know, Landon's the head coach because we don't have anybody else on staff.
Is there a statute of limitations, or do I need to cut that?
No, it's fine.
I have more
Leave
shirts.
it in.
What are they going to do?
More shirts and jackets from that 3-week stretch than I did at any other point.
And then I paid for it in January because Coach Patterson was like, "Hey, what do we have for the players?" I was like,
Go ask the SID office.
Slightly used, slightly whitish gray.
"Hey, we need some gear for the new coaching staff. What do we have?"
I think the bookstore's open.
Yeah, go pay $85 for a
Oh, shit.
Good times.
I have no coaching credentials, but I would if I'm the Dallas Cowboys. I think what I do is I hire Ed Ogeron as like the lead guy, and then find the two best coordinators that money can buy, because that's basically what happened at LSU in 2019. Is you had the greatest motivator and almost one of the greatest recruiters of all time leading LSU with Joe Brady and Dave Aranda as his coordinators. So do that.
But what are your coaching credentials so I can hire you?
Oh, okay. Well, every time I get an NCAA football dynasty started, I start at either Idaho or a random MAC school. I lead them to a conference championship, and then I dart and then I go to either a Big Ten school or an SEC school. I have won a national championship with Iowa one time.
Okay.
And then I left for Mississippi State because screw your corn.
I like it.
Freshman level, bro.
I
like
actually
it.
play
Herod?
on Heisman, so.
Herod, are you going to be my next coach?
No, it's not going to be me. I don't think my anxiety and blood pressure can handle working in that environment.
Your blood pressure couldn't handle your wedding.
Let me ask you this, Zach. If you were legitimately given, you're the coach of the Dallas Cowboys, let's say they hire you right now, how many games do you think you would win if you were given a whole season?
None. 0.
You don't think you would
not win
win
a single game?
They have to play Carolina.
No. They not necessarily next year.
I hadn't seen the schedule.
Here's the
Let's back
thing.
up on this for a moment. Zach, if you were the head coach, what would be your duties as head coach, and what would you delegate out?
I would hire 3 coordinators, and then I would hire a guy to be the actual head coach, and I would oversee him.
Okay, so you'd be Jerry Jones.
I was gonna say so.
Yeah.
You'll be the first ever Dallas Cowboys general manager. Got it.
Yeah.
Here's what this sounds a lot like to me. It kind of sounds like similar to UNC field hockey.
Oh, that was what I
it's
thought.
and it's no disrespect to Erin Matson at all, but they made her a head coach at 23 years old, and with no experience at all, and just kind of out of the blue. But they surrounded her with some really great coaches, and obviously the program was still good. So if the Cowboys were to sign Zach as their head coach and then put some good people around him, who knows? They could do pretty well.
I would call my good friend Aaron Matson. Yeah.
Jerry, if you're listening.
Right.
Keith Patterson.
What's on our agenda tonight? What are we doing?
Nobody really knows because we didn't get an agenda.
Hunter, you coach like first graders, don't you?
I do. I coach first grade boys basketball, and they
How's that going?
We're not good. In a nutshell. We haven't played a game yet because the winter weather canceled our first game of the season. So we'll tip off our first game on Saturday, and I'll report back the next time we record. But if I'm a betting man, if you can bet on first grade basketball, take the Tornadoes, because I coach the Pelicans, and that's who we play on Saturday, and they're going to kill us. So
hey, Zach,
over under 7.5 points by the Pelicans.
I'm going to hammer the under. Because just based off of our practice, we're going to have a tough time getting shots off.
A point a minute.
Didn't you say you have like one kid who's like actually decent though?
I did. I picked up another kid that's decent. I have 2 kids that are decent, but you know.
Oh, in the portal?
Yeah, I get that. Yeah,
you give me a good NIL package, a couple juice boxes.
The youth basket. Y'all think the transfer portal for college sports is wild? The youth basketball transfer portal in Arkansas is insane.
Who's your best player?
I don't want to say his name because he's 7 years old. But
don't have to give me a last name.
I wasn't gonna ask for a last name.
Okay.
I don't need his birthday.
Okay, all right. I would say I have
just Johnny.
Johnny's
fine.
My 2 best players are players that I didn't draft that I had to pick up because other kids on my team quit, and they are
poor drafter.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if I was a poor drafter because the 2 kids that quit never showed up to practice, so they could have been good. No, so my 2 best players are Braden and Amos.
All right, Braden and famous Amos.
Yep,
Get it done.
Braden and famous Amos. Yeah, so hopefully Braden and Amos go off for like 2 points each, and we win like 4-3.
Great. That wins a win.
Wins a
How
win.
many minutes are there in first grade?
We play 4 quarters of 8 minutes each running clock.
Oh, that's so long. So long.
And we lose.
Those kids are going to be gassed.
How many subs do you have?
I have one sub. I have one sub.
It's a 6-man rotation.
It's literally staph infection.
Oh, no.
So here's the thing: I had a kid break his foot, and he's out for the season. And then I had a kid. I had a kid today that he has. His mom texted me and said that he can't play for the rest of the season because he went to the doctor and he's having to have an EKG on his heart because he had some chest pains at his last practice. So, I'm down. I'm down to 6 players.
Here's the thing: an EKG is nothing. An EKG is nothing, bro. I had to get an EKG like 2 years ago while I was still working at ACU, and they told me that I would. They basically told me I work in college athletics.
Is that when you ran out of underwear?
Oh, maybe so.
After.
So
I feel like every major event that we held at ACU, Cameron had his tonsils out.
Yeah.
Cameron, like, it was something different.
dude, yeah,
Some would say he was dodging work.
This dude has worked the fewest games of any game day operation.
100%, 100%. And so Kat gave birth to my daughter, and then literally 4 days later, I was at a volleyball game, and Cameron wasn't there, and yet somehow, like, I don't know, didn't make any sense to me. So,
My favorite one
all
is
right,
when
so
he straight up died for like 6 days.
yeah, two things happened. I got my appendix taken out. That was pretty serious. And then the second time I got COVID, and when I got COVID, the very next day someone rammed a trailer through our football stadium.
We'll post the video.
oh yeah, we will. I will post a video. I actually need to send it to myself because if it gets banned on TikTok, that had 700,000 views because everybody was like, "How the hell does that happen?"
That would be a funny YouTube short, Hunter.
That would be a great YouTube short. That was absolutely hilarious. I'm sitting there in my office. Cameron is MIA because he's on his deathbed with COVID, and our awesome athletic administrative assistant Amy, she comes in my office and she goes, "Hey, we got to go to the football field." And I was like, "Why, Miss Amy? Like, we have a high school football playoff game tonight. I don't want to go there right now. It's 8:00 in the morning." She says, No. We got to go to the football field now." And I was like, "Why?" She goes, "Somebody drove a trailer through the stadium." I was like, "What?"
That's what you call press box during the day.
But
press box during the day.
But Hunter, did you get some staff for that new North Gate?
No, did not. We put caution tape. This is the truth of lower Division I college athletics.
Our 7 viewers can follow along.
Yeah, I know. So we had a high school football playoff game because we have to host those at ACU to generate some revenue there. So
because we're broke.
Yep. And so a trailer with dried cement on it, like the stuff you buy at Lowe's or whatever, was loaded down. It popped off of this F-250, went up a hill, ran over a light post, and then went right through the gate leading into the north end zone of our stadium at ACU, and drove all the way down the other side of the hill on the berm and almost went onto the field, but got stopped by a concrete wall. We had to host this high school football playoff game at 7 p.m. later that evening. So all we did as a makeshift was put yellow caution tape across and didn't even staff it with a security guard.
No, there was fencing up there.
You literally taped and glued it together.
There was.
It might have been a little bit late for the caution tape. I don't know.
No.
Seems like
so the funny thing about this for me is that I just mentioned it the day before I got diagnosed with COVID, and so what did they tell me to do? They told me, okay, well, you got to stay home. So then when Hunter tells me that a trailer ran through our football stadium, what's the first thing I did? I got in my car and I drove over to the football stadium, and I was like, man, this is hilarious. I don't have to deal with this at all.
Not only did he not work, he showed up and stared at it.
He showed up and stared at it. It's like, oh man, y'all should really do something about that. Jesus.
Oh my God.
Well, we are Press Box After Dark. We are 5 friends that all met working in college athletics. That is one of the many stories that we would love to share on this podcast as we continue to try to grow this thing. You can help us grow by following us on Twitter at PressBoxAED. Give us a follow there. On our Twitter in our Twitter bio, you can find our website where we have all of our podcast episodes, all of our blogs. We have a Major League Baseball blog, 3 Up, 3 Down, new post, and that comes out tomorrow, which is a Wednesday. We're recording on Tuesday. So as you're listening, it came out yesterday. So go check that out. PressBoxAfterDark.com. Zach is wrapping up his NFL coverage as the playoffs are heating up. But Double Doink is our NFL blog. I am doing our bowl pick'em recaps there as college football wraps up next week with the national championship game. I also am covering Deal or No Deal Island for all of our reality TV show fans, because I got bored today on my off day at work. And so now I'm watching Deal or No Deal Island and recapping that as well. That's all at PressBoxAfterDark.com. You can find us on YouTube. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're trying to hit 100 subscribers by the end of the year. So please hit that subscription button for us on YouTube at PressBox After Dark. You can catch all of our podcasts there. And then also listen to us on Spotify and Apple Music if that's how you do your podcast at PressBox After Dark. Give us a follow on Spotify as well. Yeah, I mean, we have
the Deal or No Deal Island thing good.
What?
Is the show good? The Deal or No Deal thing.
It's not bad. It's honestly not bad. So it's kind of like Survivor, Big Brother, and the game show of Deal or No Deal. Kind of like just had a baby. So like it's
3 of them.
So they do, yeah, 3 of them.
Not how babies.
So like they, so like they do like basically like an immunity challenge, and then if you don't have the highest case value, then you're up for elimination. But instead of being voted out, you have to play a game of Deal or No Deal. And if you make a good deal for your case, then you stay alive and you get to eliminate somebody. But if you make a bad deal, you go home. So like if your case has $1 in it, then all you have to do is
log easier to understand than this description.
This sounds like when you're like 10 and you have all your friends over and you just start
making up games.
Shit up.
Yeah.
Well, my brother can beat up your brother.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's not good. It doesn't have Howie Mandel in it.
He's the banker.
No, it's a chick. Did you not watch the last episode?
I mean, yeah, I did, but like he was the banker, but like
you wrote about the episode.
No, I did write about it. I didn't know. I don't want to spoil anything. I'm trying to make people read the recaps.
Because this podcast is going to spoil it for so many people.
So many people. So many people.
Literally fives of people.
The 10 the tens of people that listen to this podcast. So no, I did not type an agenda today for us because 1, nobody reads it, and then 2 was my day off. So.
And 3, we don't follow it anyway.
We don't follow it anyway. But I know there's 3 things that we have to talk about, and we've already discussed it a little bit, but I want to give Zach the floor again just to address what happened in Dallas today, the timing of it, what happened. Just go ahead, Zach. So Mike McCarthy is no longer the coach of the Dallas Cowboys. Zach, what's going on in Jerry world right now?
I know as much as the bird that flew by the stadium today. Like, I don't.
Is the roof still falling?
Figuratively, yes.
Cool.
But I thought he was coming back. I mean, all indications to me, I thought he was gonna stay on. I didn't know how long they would re-sign him for. Are you just trying to bring him back for like 1 more year and like quote unquote franchise tag him? I don't know what the plan would have been. I don't think you can really try to negotiate 1 more year with him. He would have wanted more than that. I don't know if it was length, if it was amount of money, how many years, I don't know. But I guess they negotiated and couldn't come to an agreement. And so as of Monday, they said that he's out, or he's done, or Sunday into Monday. And so I don't know. I don't know where they go from here. Last week was the week to interview anybody on the Lions or Chiefs because they were off during the playoffs. And so now you cannot interview any teams' coaching staff until they're eliminated. That are in the playoffs. You can talk to other teams, but the other teams aren't in the playoffs, so you probably don't want one of those coaches. So I don't know. I don't know where they go from here. Obviously, the headline today was that Jerry had talked to Dion, and are they talking to Jason Witten? Are they talking to
Kellen Moore?
Tony Romo? Troy Aikman basically bashed the job last night on ESPN, which I low-key thought was hilarious because he's just he tells it like it is. I've always appreciated Troy for that. I don't know. I don't know what the heck is going to go on there. I don't know who they want. I don't know if they're going to just go after somebody Jerry loves, like a Kellen Moore. I don't know if they're going to. I don't know. I don't know who's taking the job.
Who do you want them to hire as a Cowboys fan?
Well, if it were completely up to me, I would want a young coordinator like a Ben Johnson. But does he want the job? I don't know.
I think that's the worst.
Does
maybe not
any
the worst job in sports? But
It's like
it
the
comes with
worst.
biggest
It's
circus.
like the worst best job.
It comes with a circus that other places just don't have.
Yeah. And you're never fully going to be yourself. I really appreciated what Aikman said when he was like, "Is Dan Campbell if he was coaching the Cowboys?" I'm not so sure that he would be, And so I think there's a lot of truth to that. I think the only outliers would be like an Andy Reid or a Bill Belichick. And
If Belichick interviewed, would you want Belichick to go?
I don't think so at this stage in his career. I mean, not that I need somebody to be there for the next 15 years. That's not really how it works in the NFL anymore. But
I don't see those.
I would
two
like a
egos
young
coexisting.
offensive mind if we could get it. I think offense is the way to go in 2025. I don't know.
Jordan, it's kind of like Texas had been for so long of your donors in that case, but in this case, it's the owner having too much say in the day-to-day operations. And it's Texas's reason that they couldn't do anything the last decade. They figured it out. Obviously, Sark has said, hey, y'all aren't doing that shit, and I'm going to coach it how I want. And it's worked out. So maybe,
But I think you're right in the sense that those are very similar, because what Sark does is he makes that job, he makes people forget about the distractions that go with the job.
Yep.
And a Dallas Cowboys coach that's going to have success on the field is going to have to be able to block that out, at least publicly.
I just don't know how you can when 3 minutes after the game hits 000, Jerry's outside the locker room talking to all the reporters, forming some narrative before he even talks to the head coach or your star quarterback. He goes to the media first.
Right.
I don't know how you control that and get out in front of it if your owner is
who's
just
the last
crazy.
Cowboys head coach that we would say had success?
Jimmy.
Jimmy.
Got to be Jimmy. Survivor legend Jimmy
That's
Johnson.
A long stretch, man.
Yeah,
Parcells had success, right?
He was okay.
He wasn't great.
He thought Quincy Carter was going to be his quarterback, and then Quincy got in trouble. But they went to the playoffs his first year with Quincy Carter, and then he got in trouble, and they had to bring in like Vinny Testaverde, who was 40 years old. They Drew Bledsoe. They couldn't get the quarterback until they got Romo, and then he retired for good. Wade Phillips had a couple of good years in there, but this is going to be the 9th head coach, I think, for Jerry. So 10th for the franchise, because there was only one before Jerry got there.
Jeez.
So I don't know. I don't know what you do.
Who do you think's the most realistic option at this point to take?
I would probably lean towards I would think he would really want to talk to Kellen Moore. He was in Dallas for 5 years. He played there. He backed up Dak. He coached Dak. They had pretty successful offenses with Kellen.
Yep.
Then Mike wanted to, take that over, so they let him go, and he went to, I think, LA for a year, but then the Chargers fired everybody, so now he's in Philly. So, I mean, I could see that happening. I don't think that'd be a horrible hire. It's, I don't.
You know what I think we should do?
I don't know.
I think we should go around and everybody picks one person and predicts who the Cowboys' next head coach is.
Oh, man.
Ooh, hey, let's do that, and then Jordan, put it in a poll.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Can we do? How many can we answer? Can we do 4?
I think it's 4.
Okay.
That's fine. Well, we can still all say ours.
We'll just say all of us say out their best choice, and then just the worst choice out of the 5 gets left out.
So my pick, cool.
No. No. Landon and Zach's for sure in here.
All right, Cam. Who do you think?
I think right now Kellen Moore makes the most sense. That's the thing that's so tough about this is there's no one person that really stands out, because I think, like you said, it was kind of shocking to see him go. Not necessarily shocking to see him go, but the way he went.
Yeah.
So
a week later.
Very weird. So I don't know.
How often do you see like
Dion will be a trendy name, but I just don't see that realistically happening.
I don't think he's going to leave Colorado yet.
No.
Yeah, I think Kellen Moore would have the best.
I see
odds.
him leaving, but I don't see him going to Dallas.
Well, the good news is we only have 4 because I was going to say Kellen Moore as well. Because
that works.
Young offensive mind. If we think about that's trendy right now.
I got an odd one. I don't know why it didn't work in Arizona. It didn't work at Texas Tech, but I just don't know why. Cliff Kingsbury to me is jumping out as like he's flashy. He's an offensive mind. He would fit right in. I feel like with the way that Jerry wants to present the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys. I don't know if it would work, but I mean,
he'd be the like perfect beta male.
Yes.
To Jerry's
Yep.
alpha.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. So
what about
Cliff Kingsbury?
What about like Les Miles?
Oh God.
Nobody's touching Les Miles, dude.
That would be real out of the box.
Okay, so the question was, Cameron, who should they hire? Not the worst possible choice out there.
No, not who should they hire. Who do you think they're going to
Oh,
hire?
sorry.
Those are two different questions.
PR people to handle
Remember when he was the head coach at Kansas for like 2 days?
Yep.
Yeah. I'll tell you guys a story about that later off the air.
Oh no. Okay. Jordan, give us one.
I have a pick. I think he's going to want somebody that doesn't have a huge ego because obviously Jerry's is so big. I think he has done the let me go get somebody who's been a previous head coach route with Phillips and McCarthy. So I think he's going to lean the other way this time and maybe go get a first-time head coach. And my pick is increasingly unlikely, depending on how they play out the rest of the playoffs. But I'm going to take Joe Brady.
Ooh.
Oh.
I think he's got ties to Sean Payton, and Jerry's always kind of had the man crush from afar on Sean Payton.
Oh, yeah.
Sean
was on Bill Parcells' staff.
Yeah. I think Joe Brady, especially because if you're Jerry, you're going to ask for one player's opinion on that team, and it's Dak. They're going to go get an offensive guy, I would think. So Joe Brady makes a lot of sense to me.
Landon, you said you're going to go with Kellen Moore.
Yeah, Kellen Moore was my pick.
Dion would be an odd. Well, it wouldn't surprise me because nothing surprises me with this franchise anymore. Yeah. I'll go a little out of the box. This is just kind of for shits and giggles, but I think Dallas might hire somebody who hasn't been fired yet. Maybe they go Mike Tomlin.
Ooh.
Do you think Tomlin would do that?
Okay.
I do. I think
I'm going to ask a real stupid question, and I'm really not trying to get overly political here. But has Jerry ever had a minority head coach?
Ooh, that's a good question. I don't think so.
I don't think so.
Not that I can remember.
He has not.
Okay.
I don't think
Haley, Dave Campo. Yeah, no.
I don't think hiring him achieves anything that the Cowboys want to do. He'll get you to the playoffs just like every other coach will, and then he'll lose.
I feel like Dallas and Pittsburgh are kind of on this same path a little bit. Now, Dallas doesn't have the consistency of the winning seasons, but they're like stuck in this purgatory of you're never like you're not winning it, but you're also not getting the first or second or third pick. You need, if you're going to be bad, go be bad and start the hell over and go get a top 3 draft pick. But Dallas keeps winning 7 games because Mike McCarthy is a pretty good coach. He got them to 7 wins, and they started to get a little healthier on the back end of the season, so they played a little better. They won some games maybe I didn't think they would. But then the year before that, they win 12 games each year, So it's like, and then you keep getting bounced in the divisional round of the wild card, so you're picking 22nd.
What's
or whatever.
interesting about the parallels between the Steelers and the Cowboys is historically the Steelers are incredibly patient with head coaches. They do not fire coaches.
3 coaches since 76.
Yeah. Jerry sometimes doesn't wait long enough for his coaches, right?
Yeah, that's real.
But, man, here's the other thing. I think fans get caught up in the illusion that Jerry's trying to win football games.
He doesn't care.
Jerry cares about selling tickets and jerseys, man. He makes his money because that fan base sells out that stadium no matter what anyway.
His Super Bowl is when the announcement comes out each year about which franchise in the world is the most valuable.
Yeah.
And when it's Dallas, number one at $5 billion or whatever it is, he wins.
I appreciate them using that stadium for high school games, for bowl games, etc. But he knows people are going to come. He knows people are going to go buy, Dak jerseys and Parsons jerseys. Why does he need to go win a division title or a Super Bowl other than his own ego? But his own ego sitting on a fat stack of cash.
Yeah.
I don't think a lot of people realize that. I think they're legitimately thinking Jerry's trying to win, and I'm not sure I believe that anymore.
Well, yeah, and the other part about the negotiation with the coaches, so your coach's salary does not affect your cap.
No.
It has nothing to do with your salary cap. So you're the Cowboys. You have unlimited money. So what that tells me is you didn't want Mike.
Correct.
Well, if you don't want Mike, why did you wait a week?
And why did you not give him permission to interview with the Bears if you were just going to fire him anyway?
There you go.
Allegedly, at that time, they thought Mike McCarthy was going to be back, and then they couldn't agree on a contract length.
The math ain't mathin' with this for some reason for me. And then, again, I'm not surprised anymore because I've been a fan of this team for 32 years now, and it's the same old stuff. But I don't know. I don't get it.
You never thought you'd see your Cubs win a World Series before you saw the Cowboys win another championship.
When I was in high school, when I was even in the early college years, and the Cubs had just hired Theo, I was thinking, boy, that's a cool hire, but the Cowboys are definitely going to win a Super Bowl before the Cubs ever win a freaking World Series.
I just don't understand what the talent that the Cowboys have on both sides of the football. Dak Prescott, CeeDee Lamb, Micah Parsons, they're loaded in a lot of very key positions.
Mm-hmm.
And I know Dak was hurt again.
Yeah, and they had 10 starters at one point, missed time on defense.
Right.
So, obviously injuries, when you have that many. Dallas and San Francisco had the two most injured teams.
If you take that into consideration, I'm not firing a coach. I'm going to give him another year.
Yeah, I would have at least tried it maybe one more time with Mike. Now, I know he didn't have success in the postseason, but that's no different.
And we talked about this in college last week. How many active NFL coaches have won a Super Bowl? If McCarthy's not active anymore.
Yeah, McCarthy's not active, so you'd have
Andy Reid,
Tomlin, McVay,
John Harbaugh. Didn't he win that one?
John. That might be it.
I think that's it.
Who else is out
Doug
there?
Peterson got fired, right?
Sean Payton.
Yeah. Doug Peterson got fired.
Sean Payton.
But who else is out there? If that's part of your criteria, was last time.
I know. Yeah, it's.
You go get?
Yeah.
It kind of, to me, it seems like it's kind of like when somebody in college, they hop in the transfer portal and they say no contact. It's like because they already know where they're going because they've been talking to somebody else under the table. The way that this whole thing is just unfolded, it almost seems like Jerry already knows who he's going to hire. He just has to get pen to paper. Because, why would you let him go when you let him go? The Chicago thing that we've already talked about just doesn't make sense. It legitimately just sounds like he's already negotiated a deal under the table with somebody else, and he's just waiting for their season to end, or he's waiting for Super Bowl weekend to announce it so the Cowboys stay relevant on a weekend that they haven't been to since 1996.
He announced it the Monday after Wild Card weekend, and nobody's talking playoff games now.
No,
everybody was talking Cowboys.
Monday morning. First thing on the news cycle was that.
It was nothing about the playoff games, the awesome weekend that we just had of football.
Yep.
It was Mike McCarthy's no longer the head coach of the Cowboys.
And listen, the Cowboys are that team. They're the Lakers. They're the Yankees. They're that premier team that's always going to get those headlines. But Jerry is very deliberate on timing, 100% of the time.
If he's already got this ready to roll, that makes me think it's like Jason Witten or something.
Oh, God.
That it's not one of these coaches.
I actually read today that McCarthy was still going to get an interview with the Bears after all that.
Yeah, he will now because he's not under contract with.
Yeah, I've already
so
seen
they
that.
can talk
I
whatever
already
they
seen
want.
that was going to happen. So, I mean, Jason Witten, we host him for a playoff game. Absolutely, 10 out of 10 human being. I don't know if he's
Not an NFL head coach.
I don't think he's ready for that. I just don't.
He's not gonna.
I mean, now,
He's not gonna.
granted, I don't know what makes an NFL coach. I mean, he could get the job and he could win a Super Bowl for the Dallas Cowboys, and I could be the most wrong person in the universe. But like,
I know that Cameron mentioned this, but Dion's going to be the name that gets some headlines. And you guys know what I think of Dion. But let's be fair a little bit here. I do think Dion is a little bit limited at Colorado with the NIL factor, the cold weather, all the things. If there's a former player, a former Cowboys player that could make that work with Jerry's ego, that Jerry might actually back off a little bit, it would be Dion.
It would be Dion because he loves Jerry.
Yeah.
But he also would be probably the one guy who could go in and be like, "Yo, I am Dion, and I have.
He's
this
one
is
of
what
the
I think
very
we should
few
do."
head coaches that would generate more media buzz than Jerry tries to.
So then, does Jerry really want that?
Well,
Does
I
he
sent
really
you
want
guys
somebody who's
earlier.
going to push him back?
Butts in
Because
the
last
seats.
time he had
Earlier,
somebody
the-
push him
the-
back, it was Jimmy, and he fired him.
Not
Right.
butts in the seats.
no, don't say butts
That's
in
all he
seats.
cares about.
The butts in the seats are already there, Landon. I mean, if a broomstick is the head
I
coach
don't
of the
even
Dallas
think it's-
Cowboys, there's still going to be butts in seats.
I don't even think it's the seats. Dallas was 8 of the top 10 most watched games this year
So,
on TV, and they sucked.
And that's more wins than they had.
Yeah.
everybody got to watch Cooper Rush in his prime. No, my only thing about Dion is that now I could be wrong here. So anybody who's a Dion fact checker, and trust me, we've ran into a couple of them on Twitter. So follow us at PressBoxAD if you want to correct us here. I am not 100% certain on this, but I think he's never been the head coach without Shador being his quarterback, right? Because he coached him in high school, he coached him at Jackson State, he coached him at Colorado. So in my opinion,
Which does make for the perfect time for Dion to leave both.
Right. So, but here's my thing is that there is no way in any world that the Cowboys just forked out that contract for Dak Prescott, and then you're going to sit here and say, hey, we're going to hire Deion Sanders with the notion that, hey, we're going to trade for the number 1 overall pick to send Dak to Nashville to the Titans, and then somehow draft Shador Sanders. It's just not happening.
No.
So I just don't.
No.
I think.
I mean that's not going to happen for a multitude of reasons.
Oh, yeah.
Number one, it's dumb, but number two, Shador Sanders is not the number 1 overall pick.
He's not.
Anyways.
He's not.
Number
He-
three,
he-
Dak
They may not
contract
even
is
have to
below
trade up to get Shador Sanders.
No.
Shador Sanders may fall to 12 or whatever the Cowboys are
That's
at.
true. But I mean, like, it's like that's the number one thing that I've been seeing was like when you see Dion as like because every single news website has put out here are the top 5 candidates for the Cowboys job. Dion's on there because it does make sense. We've already discussed why it makes sense. But the number one thing about it is that like they're saying it as like Shador's going to go with him. If I'm another NFL GM and that does happen, the first thing I'm doing is I'm drafting Shador and I'm trying to raid the Cowboys for anything they want to give me for him. But then, like,
I don't know why would you can't coach your kid on an NFL team.
If anybody would try to do
your
it, it's
locker
Deion
room
Sanders.
Your locker room will be a disaster. You can do that in college. You can't do that in the NFL.
The only reason I could see that being a remote possibility is because Jerry loves the circus. Jerry loves the media. And if he was able to get Dion and either Shador or Travis Hunter, nobody would talk about any other NFL team or game for the next year until the experiment blows up.
Now, Travis Hunter could help the Cowboys.
But
Shador would not help the
I'm just
the
saying
Cowboys.
that would generate a ton of buzz, and Jerry's all about the buzz.
Yeah.
I don't see it happening, but in that scenario, if winning
shit
really doesn't matter and buzz is all that does, Dion would make a lot of sense for them.
What a goddamn shit show.
Retweet.
That's it. That's the clip right there.
That's it.
The Dallas Cowboys.
Move on to the Cowboys' arch nemesis, the NFL playoffs.
Yeah, they have been for a long time.
Yep. Zach, I want you to let's talk some positive things about the NFL and not dwindle on the Cowboys' misery. And let's go over Wild Card Weekend. I want to hear your positives and negatives for each matchup that happened, and let's just go through and let's just break down what happened over a great weekend of football. You can start with whoever you want to start with, buddy. You lead our NFL coverage, so I want you to take over.
Well, actually, the games kind of sucked for a little while. We had some blowouts early. I thought the Chargers were good, and then they went into Houston and I forgot that their name was the Chargers, and they were terrible. I'll just put this question out there. Should people kind of calm down with the Justin Herbert talk?
Yes, he is the greatest quarterback on paper of all time, and he cost me a fantasy football championship.
I think there's some truth to that. Is he one of the greatest quarterbacks on paper?
You have to play for a championship for him to cost you a championship.
Well, everybody says that he's the greatest quarterback, and I ended up with him, and then what happened?
He sounds like he should have gone to an SEC school where they are undefeated in hypotheticals.
Sounds like you shouldn't have traded away Jamar Chase.
Good point.
That's fair, too.
Triple Crown winner just traded away.
Listen, I think the bigger story to me for the Chargers is Jim Harbaugh. That's a heck of a year one, man.
Yeah, it is.
When he got there and they started trading off players right and left, and everybody was like, dude, what are you doing? Right? You traded off Keenan Allen? Why? Nobody heard from Keenan Allen all season. The Chargers still made the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody expected them to win the thing. That's a great year one to me.
Yeah, honestly, Jim Harbaugh to get 11 wins. I mean, he just did it again. He's turned around another team again.
That might be the quickest one he's ever had.
It's pretty good. San Francisco was pretty impressive too. The big question was Herbert was so bad in that playoff game. You can't throw 3 picks all regular season and then 4 in the playoff game.
So bad.
I don't know.
But what else do you have? I mean, it's not like you can pull him.
Right, and he is good. It's not that he's not a good player. It's just it's a weird spot. He's got to get over a mental hurdle. Because
if anything I've learned from the Texas Longhorns this year, watching Quinn Ewers, you win the game, nobody cares about the rest of it at the end.
And he's 0-2 in the playoffs. They're still
able to pull that out. They weren't, but if they were, nobody's talking about 4 interceptions.
Yeah, and they were in control of that game early, and then C.J. Stroud made that ridiculous play on like 3rd and forever, and all of a sudden him and D'Amico,
a stud in that league for a long time.
And now they go to Kansas City. That'll be interesting.
That will be interesting
on Saturday. Cam, your Rams, man, the other LA team. They didn't get a home game, but holy shit. They look really good.
Yeah, that was – I made the joke today in the office that Sam Darnold looked like a Make-A-Wish quarterback. And I felt bad immediately after I said that. But he looked terrible. He was dropping back, and then he couldn't even get rid of the ball.
Are they the biggest 14-win fraud of all time?
Every time they have a good season, they're frauds.
And I get I'm not a bandwagon. I was about to say that. I'm not a bandwagon, but I'm a homer, I guess, because I'm a Rams fan. But I heard all week about how Sam Darnold has played this and had this incredible season, and how
he did. He was
and
Pro
he did.
Bowler.
He had a good season. But I had heard about how he had this incredible season and how the Rams defense wasn't any good. And I think people just ignored the fact that the Rams defense has been incredible the second half of the season. They had one shootout game against the Bills. But let me read off to you the amount of points scored by teams.
I came out of that game impressed with the Rams. And I didn't knock them for that at all, that shootout loss to Buffalo.
Right.
You don't fault anybody for shootout losses to Buffalo.
Yeah.
They're so good.
So game 12, I believe, or game 11, my bad, was against the Eagles. We gave up 37 points to the Eagles.
That was the game Saquon went bazooka, right? He had like 300 scrimmage yards. Yeah.
Yeah. After that, we gave up 14 to the Saints. We had the shootout against the Bills with 42. But then after that, we gave up 6 to the 49ers, 9 to the Jets, 9 to the Cardinals, 30 to the Seahawks when we weren't playing anyone, and then 9 yesterday against the Vikings. I mean, the defense is unreal. that defensive line with Verse and Young, so dominant. I mean, they had what yesterday, like 7 or 8 sacks. One of them a strip sack for a scoop and score. I mean,
that ended the game. That play ended the game.
Yeah,
That's
they're flying around.
A team with an offensive head coach too.
I think McVay. I still think he doesn't get enough credit for how good he is.
He's really good.
I don't know, and maybe that's not possible, but it seems like it. It seems like he still kind of flies under the radar.
Forget that when they made that Super Bowl run, they traded off a lot of draft picks.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah,
a lot of draft picks. So, like what they're doing now, they've been playing from behind in the draft room. You know what I mean? Like, I think he deserves more credit for that.
And they've been so hurt the year after that. Like they had all those injuries in 22. Last year they started off slow, got hot, made the playoffs. This year, you're still hurt. You had all those injuries, but you got everybody healthy again. And when you got a veteran quarterback, you can run the ball, you can win up front, and you got a coach who can do it. They can win the NFC.
Mm-hmm.
I firmly believe that. They may not.
I'll be in. Yeah, I mean, we got a tall task against the Eagles again this week, but
I would trust what you're doing on offense better than what Philly's doing on offense. I don't think they look that impressive right now.
We'll see. I think. Well, just my final thought here. I just want to say. I mean, I talked about the defense, but the Rams team goes to a completely different level when Stafford is on, and he was on yesterday.
Oh man!
And he started the game, I think 9 for 9 and 100 yards. I mean, if Stafford's on, it's almost impossible to stop the offense just with how dynamic it is.
What you pausing, Herod?
You mentioned the Eagles.
Yeah.
If we're talking about MVP seasons, Saquon's not going to get any love, none, zero, because of the years that Lamar and Allen have had, and Darnold to an extent. But that's a ridiculous season from that guy, dude.
Yeah,
he's my MVP.
The 9th 2,000-yard rusher. Yeah.
He is unreal. When he went to Philly, I was like, I think they'll probably be better, but like, he's getting up there in age for a running back, blah, blah, blah. Dude's a physical specimen, and he is not slowing down, man.
They totally changed as a team when he got there. They're so different this year. They don't run it enough.
No.
I didn't think they were running it enough against Green Bay. Green Bay couldn't stop them.
No.
They were hurting themselves against the Packers. I don't think that game wasn't – that should have been a wider margin than it finished. And I know Green Bay got really hurt, but –
if you took the individual season numbers that Saquon just put up and put them up against probably 95% of other NFL seasons in history, that dude's running away with the MVP.
Yeah, right.
And he's
going to finish
top 3.
Yeah, he's going to finish 3rd to
maybe 4th.
Jackson and Josh.
And maybe
well, I mean, you know what it comes down to, right? It's the year of disrespecting the running back. It happened with Genty, and now it's happening with Barkley.
There you go.
There you go.
That's good. I like that, Cam.
I like that.
Can we?
Yeah. So Philly Rams on Sunday, Sunday afternoon should be awesome.
That's going to be great. I got in my office. I have 2 people, big Philly fans. So,
do they throw batteries and stuff, or?
God, I hate Philadelphia.
Worst group of professional sports.
I can't stand them during baseball season because I'm a Braves fan and we're the same division. And then I couldn't stand them this year because the Rams already played them once, and then now we're playing them again. And it's like, man, I need to get a win here.
I would love for you to get a win on Sunday, Cam. I can't stand the.
Yeah, we're rooting for you, Cam.
Yeah,
that was a tough game to watch because as someone who's not a Packer fan either, I was just like, can they both lose? I don't know how.
Birds die.
It's bad.
Jesus, Landon.
I think the Rams can go in there and do it. I really do.
Yeah.
And then let's see, what else did we have this weekend? Jaden Daniels.
I was about to say we got to talk about the Commanders and the kicker. What's his name? Zane Gonzalez. Is that his name?
Zane Gonzalez.
How nervous was this guy?
Well, he's got OCD.
He's got OCD like hardcore.
Okay.
And so he's like combing his hair and stuff, and he's like really nervous. And then they called timeout.
Yep.
So he he, because of his condition, he had to go back and like do it all
Yep.
again. And I mean, he looked like he was just pissing his pants out.
No, yeah, it looked like I almost like sometimes like when I'm watching professional sports and I'm like, okay, I don't really I feel bad for some people in some circumstances, but then it's like, you're getting paid a lot of money to do, something that you're very skilled at. So like, especially when you're a kicker, like I know that's a pressure situation to be in, but like you're paid a lot of money to make that kick. There's a lot of people riding on you. I get it. I don't fully understand it because I'm not a kicker, duh. But it's like, come on, you're getting paid a lot of money to do that. But at that point, like the camera just stayed on him, and he just looked like I felt bad for him before he even tried it out there. I'm like, if this dude doesn't make this is going to be bad because like he doesn't even look like he's psyched up to even take the kick. Like I was so nervous for the guy, and I have no rooting stakes at all in the Commanders. So I was so nervous for this guy, and he doinks it in, which is just incredible, like just unbelievable. But yeah, I'm so glad that he made it because if not, then the internet would have just destroyed him.
Oh my gosh, yeah, that was a crazy game. It was a good game,
great game, absolutely great game.
Kind of fumbled that away a little bit, and
definitely
Washington they have a flair for the dramatic. That's for damn sure.
They've won it's really funny to me that Baker Mayfield and Sam Darnold put up the regular seasons that they did, but like when you get to the playoffs, like you're not trusting your team to Sam Darnold, right? Like,
correct.
That's not a guy that's going to go win you playoff games.
And 2 years ago they had Kirk Cousins, and in 2017 they had Case Keenum. Like those are all the same person.
Yes.
I don't trust any of them to get to a Super Bowl or, get them out of their funk. Like you have to have a superstar quarterback.
And Baker Mayfield. I mean, both of those guys deserve a lot of credit because at one point they were considered busts. But I'm not trusting either one of those guys to go win me a playoff game, much less make a deep run.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this question, Zach. Yeah. So
hold on. While we're talking about that, I mean, Jimmy Garoppolo almost beat Pat Mahomes for a Super Bowl. Like,
that's a fair point.
Fair.
And there's always a one-off. Nick Foles is a champion. You know.
those are the anomalies, not the expectation.
Yeah.
Well,
I do want to pose this question though, because like the Sam Darnold thing, and obviously his poor performance, everybody was questioning what his future holds. If you're the Vikings, JJ McCarthy got hurt. Do you ride with him, or do you just stick it out with Darnold, sign him to an extension? Like, what do you do here?
With McCarthy.
Nope. They'll cut Darnold.
Where does Darnold end up? Because
the Giants.
I'm going to say the Steelers.
Well, they might do that again. Yeah, really? Who knows? I don't know.
What are they going to do with Justin Fields?
Look,
all contracts are.
All I know is if you're the Vikings, you cannot re-sign him.
No,
not after that.
No.
If you had a year ago signed him for 2 years, okay, yeah, you bring him back. He maybe starts until McCarthy's healthy. Whatever, bridge it through. But if you have to go put another contract together for him, you're done. You already got your guy.
Especially after the year he just had, because he's going to want to get paid now.
Right.
I just feel like the Vikings are going to feel the pressure to win now because they have Justin Jefferson, but the problem is the quarterback position is big question mark, and who knows how much Aaron Jones has left in the tank. If Aaron Jones all of a sudden falls off like a lot of running backs do, now I'm not wishing that on him. I'm just saying it happens very quickly for some of these guys who are very, very good. And then throw on top of that, you don't have a reliable quarterback. All of a sudden, Justin Jefferson means absolutely nothing to your team. Same thing with Jordan Addison. And it's like, who are you going to get at quarterback? You got to make a decision.
Stefon Diggs, though. He was the man. He was unbelievable. He wasn't Justin Jefferson, best receiver in football, but he was probably top 5 when they traded him to Buffalo.
That's probably true.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But they also knew that they had Justin Jefferson to fill those shoes.
They also
the quarterback
more stable at quarterback.
The quarterback determines everything for your franchise. You either have it or you don't. And I think they want to see if they have it in JJ.
That's the thing.
If he's healthy, you got to play him.
My thing is like I wasn't sold on McCarthy when he came out of Michigan. Now, obviously, when he was at Michigan, he did everything he needed to do right for them to win that national title. He didn't make mistakes. He did everything that he was supposed to do. He had a great running game with him. So, like, no knocking on him. It's just, if you're the guy of an NFL franchise, I want to see him with the game solely on his shoulders. He go win it. I don't think at Michigan he ever had to go do that. Now I could be wrong, but I just don't think that he ever had to go do it. And so for me, as like a unbiased fan, if I'm a Vikings fan, I'm like, all right, well, if we're gonna go with this guy, like, I got to see it, and I got to see it quickly.
Yeah.
You don't waste time anymore with your rookies.
No.
You get them in there and you go right away.
Hell yeah.
Well, and I think the Vikings learned a lot this year. They took some flack for not signing Kirk Cousins or re-signing Kirk Cousins.
Yeah, how'd that
and
work
they
out for
quickly
them?
learned that they made the right decision there. And I think they're going to have to take that into consideration when it comes time to make the decision on Darnold.
I would much rather take my chance with a young unknown than with a guy who's older, but you know what their ceiling is. Kirk Cousins, Sam Darnold, you know who they are.
And they're also going to demand way more money than a rookie contract.
And I think Sam cost himself even more money these last 2 weeks for being so shitty.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
at the very least, you save some money. You can get him some pieces to surround him.
Yep.
Yeah.
Get him a line to protect him and pieces to go with what they have.
Too many teams that need a quarterback in a year.
Yeah, I don't think it's
weak
Minnesota.
Quarterback draft.
Yeah,
It's a weak quarterback draft. It's a weak quarterback draft.
Bro, just go get Jameis Winston.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if you want, yeah.
That dude there should be a rule in the NFL that Jameis Winston has to start at least one game every year, even when he's like 80.
I know. It's so
If
so
there was
ridiculous.
Going to be a rule for it, they would have made it for guys like Colt McCoy and.
I just thought of a great draft. You got to name your favorite Jameis Winston quote.
Oh, there's so many.
Too many to choose.
My favorite is Krispy Kreme.
I love the look that he gives reporters.
It's very terrifying.
Yes.
Yeah. It's very scary.
He's hilarious. But
if there's any celebrity that actually listens to this podcast, it's Jameis Winston for sure. If there's anyone.
Our athletic trainer was telling us before the game. What was he telling us? He was just telling us to be. He was just telling us to be ready.
Oh, dog. Oh, man.
Okay.
Somebody jump off sides, damn it.
That was great. They had him hot mic'd up. Somebody jump off sides, damn it. That's an all-time.
The other games, Baltimore killed Pittsburgh, as they should. And
nothing really to talk about there.
Buffalo killed Denver. Now, Denver, Bo Nix chucked it up there. They had that touchdown early, and I was like, "Oh,
I did too,
dude. You better believe it. Bo Nix steps on the field, man. He's chucking it up to someone. To someone.
He is the poster child for the. He's the poster child for the meme of like close the eyes. Just throw it. Somebody's down there. Like he is the poster child for that meme. Like just well hell somebody's down there.
So the Chargers, they obviously had a very successful season. The Broncos, massive success this year. That's such a win for them, making the playoffs the first time in 10 years. Washington is playing. They're putting gravy on top of how great their season's been, with Jaden Daniels and stuff. So you've got teams that I feel like either like overachieved and are just like sitting in it, and then you got like teams who Pittsburgh was 10-3 and they lost their last 5 games. So there's a lot of weird.
I don't understand how Pittsburgh even won 10 games to begin with. Their team's
I'm not really sure. I don't know. They were 4-2 or whatever with Justin Fields. They switched to Russ. They went and they got up to 10-3, and then they played good teams and lost all the good teams. And the Packers did the same thing. They lost all the good teams they played.
But what else do they have?
Yeah,
they have a broken down Russell Wilson.
And they're really in purgatory.
A guy who never should have been a number 1 pick in the first place.
I don't know where Pittsburgh goes.
Najee Harris, they're not good.
They got crazy George Pickens.
Pickens' contract's up.
Oh, he's out. He's out.
I mean, they got a lot of dudes to figure out.
George Pickens is going to be a Kansas City Chief next year.
Yeah, and he's going to win a Super Bowl.
Put George Pickens and Xavier Worthy on the field with Patrick Mahomes throwing him the football. See how that plays out.
Wait, wasn't Pickens already a Kansas City Chief?
No. He's been a Steeler his whole career.
The Steeler turned Chief was Juju.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's who I'm
the dancing guy on TikTok.
Juju Smith-Schuster.
R.I.P. TikTok.
Yeah. Also a Patriot.
Yeah, he's been around. So then, this weekend you got Houston at KC on Saturday. Saturday night, you've got Washington at Detroit. Sunday,
going to be a really good game.
It is.
Yeah, and Detroit's going to be friggin' rocking, man. Oh, my gosh. Sunday afternoon, Rams at Eagles. Love that game. And then Sunday night is the game everybody wants to see, Ravens-Bills. So,
that's going to be so good.
Does anybody here know somebody that's like from Detroit?
I do not. I've known people that have worked there.
I think I've met 2 people who would like claim Detroit as home, and they're like always like they're just crazy bitter people. And then I realize you guys root for the Lions, the Pistons, and the Tigers every year. No freaking wonder, man.
Oh my!
And the weather's rough.
Yeah.
I had to watch the Rams-Lions divisional game last year with my Lions friend, and that was a tough one.
That was a hell of a game. Yeah. Commanders-Lions is just very interesting.
I don't have a favorite NFL team after my fantasy team's eliminated, but I think I'm pulling for Detroit to win it.
Oh, of course. I want Detroit and Buffalo. I want not Philadelphia.
For
and
sure.
I don't want Kansas City because I'm ready for something different.
Sure.
I'm just ready.
Hashtag anybody
have
but the
other
Eagles.
Yeah.
Anybody but the Eagles for Zach.
So,
Anyone but Hunter.
Anyone but Hunter. As any fantasy league that we play in, as soon as the draft is completed, the first thing that's in the chat, hashtag anyone but Hunter. Good luck, everybody else.
Yep.
My single favorite part of fantasy football season is week 1 when Hunter swears he's never going to trade with me ever again, and then week 3 Hunter's like, "Hey, so that trade, are you still interested?"
Harry gets me because
taking lesser players than what were originally offered.
My Tuesday mornings during fantasy football season consist of drinking a cup of coffee and then a text from Jordan Harrod. So you want to trade? That's it. That's my Tuesday morning every single.
Did you trade me Joe Burrow or did Zach trade me Joe Burrow?
I traded you Joe Burrow.
So you traded me Joe Burrow
and Jamar Chase.
Oh, okay.
Solid. Yeah, you're wondering why.
Gracious.
Yeah.
So I traded Joe Burrow because I should have just stuck with him because I don't know why I got rid of him and Chase. Chase was fine. I traded Chase way later for pieces. I ended up going 5-1 after the trade. No one will talk about that.
He had rattled off
but
5 straight 30-point games.
But yeah, I know. But I traded away Burrow after Cincinnati started like 0-4, but they start 0-4 like every year under him, like with Burrow.
But it wasn't because the
offense
was bad.
Well, no, he wasn't doing anything.
Who cares what their record is?
He wasn't doing anything, and he was pissing me off. So I was like, you know what? This is ridiculous. Because Baker Mayfield outscored him every single week I had him. I was like, you know what? If you want to if you want to give me something, Harrod. I think he ended up giving me Justin Herbert.
I drafted Patrick Mahomes as the first quarterback off the board. I didn't think I was going to need another one.
I think Burrow might finish like 5th in MVP.
Yeah,
and they didn't even.
And then he made the playoffs. And I traded his ass away. Joe Burrow, if you're listening, I'm sorry.
And Jamar Chase, not that far behind him either.
No.
Is he Offensive Player of the Year? Maybe Saquon? I don't know. Or Lamar. Well, that's a tough award.
But because Hunter traded me Joe Burrow, it allowed me to trade Zach a quarterback. It was Check's notes, Derek Carr.
Yes, it was. And through 2 weeks, I was like, great.
Derek Carr into Joe Burrow, thanks to Hunter not knowing how to play fantasy football.
Yeah,
that's fair.
And I needed a quarterback, and the Saints looked like they were going to win the Super Bowl 2 weeks in.
Well, that iron was really
all I know is Hunter traded away Jamar Chase, and then he immediately scored 90 points against me.
Dude, that was awful. That was awful.
Fucking Jordan Love hurt himself in Mexico first week, and I fucking needed a quarterback. And Derek Carr, I was like, great, they're awesome. They killed the Cowboys, and then they didn't win a game until fucking Thanksgiving.
That's back when everyone thought Rashid Shaheed was a really good wide receiver too.
Yeah, oh God, yeah. Talk about one-game wonders.
My favorite moment of this whole NFL season was the first 2 weeks of the Saints season with Derek Carr leading the charge, and they were 2-0. The murder rates in New Orleans were down in numbers. Then the Saints started losing again, and the murder rates went back up to their normal numbers.
God damn it! So
Thanks a lot, Derek Carr.
All right, give me your divisional picks here, boys.
I'll go.
Game by game.
Yeah, we'll do a game at a time. Houston, KC, go.
KC.
I'll jump in. I'm going to take Houston.
Houston.
Wow. Yeah, Kansas City.
I'll go Kansas City there.
I think Houston has more weapons on offense.
I would love it.
I think
They've never been to a
Ryan's
conference
heck of a
championship game. That would be cool.
I think D'Amico Ryan's a coach dudes want to play for. Andy Reid's a coach people want to go to the buffet with.
I think that would be wild because Houston's had a weird year. So,
Dude, Andy
I
Reid.
think they can do it.
Andy Reid would do some damage in a Shoney's. Could you
The New
imagine?
York Football Giants got hot at the right time and won 2 Super Bowls. out
That
of it.
salad bar, bro.
I love Shoney's.
are you talking Golden Corral over here? What's happening?
No. We don't talk about Golden Corral. If we're gonna go to a buffet like that, we're going to Shoney's.
Shoney's or the old or Ruby Tuesday. Ooh.
Oh,
Just take me to
the
the
salad
CC's pizza.
salad bar.
salad bar to
Ruby
Ruby Tuesday, elite.
All right, Zach, who you picking?
I'll go
Talk about
Kansas
salad
City.
at this point.
I'll go Kansas City. All right,
All right.
Washington.
All right.
At,
Top
oh,
Courageous.
top 3 salad bars. Shoney's, okay? Ruby Tuesday, and then deep cut. You guys always pick on me because I'm young, but number 3, Pizza Hut. You remember the Pizza Hut salad bar?
Oh, it was elite.
I don't.
their
go to
lunch
Pizza Hut.
buffet rule.
Dude,
I
Pizza
like
Hut.
that,
When
Jason.
Pizza Hut had a buffet and you sat down, oh my God, that was incredible. The red cups, the nostalgic, the video games, the pinball machines. Pizza Hut, damn it, bring back the lunch buffet.
That's where I watched
Clip that, Hunter.
That's where I watched my first Cowboys playoff game when I was 10 years old. I'll never forget.
And that was the
Hell
last
yeah.
playoff games the Cowboys have ever been to. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
I'm kidding.
All right.
Hey, Landon,
Next
what's
game.
the best
Sorry.
salad in Abilene, Texas.
Hef's actually. Hef's
Really?
Southside has the best salad bar.
I was gonna say Old Abilene Country Club.
I mean,
I was
Wait,
waiting
that,
for
that too.
Hef's,
I was waiting
Hef's
for the
Burgers?
classic.
Yeah, Southside in the mall has a salad bar.
I was waiting
Wow,
for
I
Landon to
didn't-
be like, "What's
I didn't
salad?"
know that.
Fuck you, Zach.
I'm very proud of us. You know what? I thought we were going to sit here and talk about nothing but junk food on this podcast in the future. Look at us talking about salad.
I got a question for this group.
Yeah.
Are we gonna do the rest of these games?
Yeah, we're getting
Yeah,
to
we'll
that.
get
This
there.
is more important right now, damn it.
Among
Yeah,
this
we'll get
group-
there.
among this
Don't
group,
rush this,
Who do we think
Landon.
has eaten the most salads in their life?
Out of the 5 of us or just in general?
No, out of the 5 of us, because the total's probably somewhere like 31 total.
Zach.
I used to.
I'd say probably Zach.
No,
But-
Zach, because he's allergic to everything.
I haven't eaten a salad in like a year and a half.
Oh, okay. Anybody else?
What about corn salad?
Yeah,
What's
what?
that?
Yeah,
Yeah, what are
What
you
kind of
defining
salad?
as
Now,
salad
I
right
think
now? Because
we have
like
a lot-
potato
we-
salad, like what are we talking about here?
We have a lot of pasta salad up here in the
yeah.
Midwest.
There you
Are we
go.
just going to start drafting salads?
No,
Jello salad, big fan.
it's
of
almost worse than
Ooh.
sweet teas.
Isn't Jello salad just Jello?
that. Yeah, well, there's other stuff in there. There's other fruits and toppings. And
Is there?
things.
All right. My vote's for Zach
No.
for the salad king of this group. Leader
Oh,
of the
I
clubhouse
promise
at
you.
6.
Yeah,
All time.
since 2006.
All time.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
man.
All right.
Anyway,
Washington at Detroit.
Hunter, you go.
Hunter, Jordan, Landon, Cam.
Give me the Lions just because I really want to see Detroit make the Super Bowl.
Yeah, it's Detroit for me. They're loaded.
Detroit's on a tear. It's got to be Detroit.
I'm gonna pick Washington in this one.
That a boy save the graphic.
I don't think Washington's
Cameron,
defense
are
has
you
a
chewing
chance.
like 9 whole packs of gum right now?
He's chewing double bubble with no flavor.
2 pieces. I got that extra. What is this shit?
You remember?
Don't show that on YouTube. We'll get taken
the
down for
longest-
brand showing.
in the longest
Oh, that's how
yard.
that works.
Ah, shit! That just got
Is it
taken.
in the
I have to
longest
blur that
yard
out in post.
and,
Good luck.
in the longest yard, and Nellie's got the fucking toothpick all the whole time. He's just talking, and he basically is eating a. That's what I feel like we're getting from Cam.
Yep.
Cam, who you
Right
taking?
now. He said
You
Washington.
took Washington.
I took Washington.
I'll
I
take.
was too distracted by all
Way
the
to pay
dumb-
attention.
I'll take Detroit. I don't think Washington's defense has a shot.
All right.
All right. LA at Philly. Hunter.
I think I'm gonna go Rams.
Okay.
I feel like I don't know. I feel like the Rams are in a prime spot to pull this upset. Well, I don't even know if it's an upset at this point. I mean, kind of is.
Well, Philly will be favored.
Philly would be favored, but yeah. So I don't know. I like LA in this spot. I don't know why. I don't have any reasoning behind it. I'm just gonna go. I'm gonna go LA.
Every receiver that they have.
Yeah, my fantasy team did have every LA Ram receiver, all of them.
Okay.
Yeah.
I picked my upset already. I'm taking Philadelphia.
No shot, I can say Philadelphia. Give me the Rams.
I'm not picking against the Rams, but I am picking for the Eagles here.
In my
Give me
picks,
Philly.
you'll see Philly, but I really, really will be rooting hard for LA, and I do think they can win that game. So, I think
Absolutely, but I think they really do have to play a near perfect game.
Yeah, defensively, yeah.
Here's the thing, though. They bottled up Aaron Jones pretty well when they ganged up against the run. If they're able to do that against Saquon, maybe they have a shot. But
I a little bit think if you make Jalen Hurts beat you, I'm not sure he can.
Bottling up
I
Saquon
feel
is
that way
a
a
whole
little
lot harder than bottling up Aaron Jones.
No, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
It'll say you have to tackle well, and yeah. Then this should be the game of the weekend. Ravens Bills, Hunter, in Buffalo.
How many tables will be destroyed before the game?
Wow.
I need to know that
32.
for my pick.
32.
If anybody does anybody know why they do that?
No.
I love it. Every single time I see it on Twitter, I watch the whole video from start to finish, like the build up, the jump through, the breaking of the neck. I watch all of it.
But did you see the guy who gets the ketchup dumped?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's
Also, have you seen the? I think it was it might have been Barstool. They did a pizza review. There's a guy that tailgates at Bills games that makes pizzas out of a filing cabinet.
Oh, I saw that.
It's it's electric. It's awesome.
Barstool.
Herod,
Yeah.
Herod, why didn't we do that in the office?
All I'm saying is there's lots of cultures in our society that I don't claim to understand, but the Buffalo Bills culture is very near the top of the list.
Listen, y'all give me flack for being a Mississippi State fan and ringing a cowbell. At least we don't jump through flaming tables.
Yeah,
Or
the
tables
Buffalo
in
Bills are
general.
A little bit different.
Be more
than
cool if you
franchise.
did.
I mean, I guess it would. All that being said, give me the Bills. Because I want to see Buffalo, KC. I got to see it. I want to see it. Also, I mean, Baltimore, KC wouldn't be bad either. But I want to see Josh Allen. I want to see Patrick Mahomes going at each other for another AFC championship.
I'm with that. I think it's the Bills' year. I want the Lions to win it. I think the Bills are. I think it's finally their year. They look so good, man. So it's really hard coming into the season. It would have been really hard to pick against a backfield that had Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry in it in any game. But man, the Bills look good. So I'm going to go Buffalo.
The only birds I'll pick in the NFL. Give me the Ravens.
Well, there's a lot of bird teams.
It's the only birds I'll choose.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm going to pick the Ravens as well. I need a rematch of the Chiefs and Ravens after the Ravens lost by a half a shoe length.
Oh, God, that was
Or
forever ago.
not half a shoe length, half a shoe size. Because literally just a toe.
Yeah, get smaller feet, Isaiah
out of
Likely.
bounds line.
Congrats on the
So-
big dick.
That was he was involved in the Joe Burrow trade in question, by the way.
FYI.
Isaiah freaking Likely.
Yeah, congrats on the big dick.
That was
Wow.
2 things bigger than Hunter's doesn't come to one.
that's amazing.
Cameron's gonna get fired.
That was
100%.
I don't care. That was also
This podcast better start
that
making
was
money or
also the
Cameron's gonna be
game
homeless.
Oh well. That was also the game that Lamar needed to put the team on his back, and he missed a wide open Zay Flowers in the back of the end zone.
Sure was.
So
Yeah.
I have no idea which, because there was that Lamar, and then there was the Lamar the very next play where he hit Isaiah Likely in the back of the end zone and just
And there's
barely couldn't get in
Josh
bounds. So
Allen, and there's Josh Allen when he plays Patrick Mahomes.
And
yeah,
usually
so
he's pretty damn
we'll
good.
see.
He's
We'll
usually
see.
pretty damn good against
That
Mahomes.
should be maybe the game of the entire.
Sean
playoffs.
McDermott seems to fall on his ass when he's playing Kansas City, but I feel like the Pittsburgh playoff game was the first time I've ever seen Lamar look like regular season Lamar in a playoff game. And I wonder how much of that was just Derrick Henry calms everybody down because he's Derrick Henry, and it's like, oh, just give him the ball. And then Lamar can just be him. But I don't know. I just like Buffalo too much at home. I trust Josh Allen more in a playoff game than I trust Lamar Jackson. I trust Mahomes more than I trust anybody. But between those two, I think I would trust Josh. So I'll go Buffalo. But I think it's going to be. I hope it goes to like 3 overtimes.
I did not think Buffalo was going to be this good offensively after they traded Stefan Diggs.
They lost Diggs and Davis.
Mhm.
Yep.
They're awesome. They're awesome.
Great.
Might be better.
Yeah. This is the best they've been because Josh Allen's not forced to throw it to one dude.
Correct.
All right, what's next?
Well,
All right, Hunter, are we talking CFP?
Yeah, we're going to talk CFP. So everybody text me your picks. I'll make a graphic to throw up before the divisional round. And then everybody, if you want to hear more in-depth analysis, Zach does a really, really good job with his double doink. So go check out that at PressBoxAfterDark.com. Click on his blog, give it a read before all those playoff matchups this weekend. Zach, really, really good stuff from Zach and Jordan. My blogs are just mediocre at best, but they're on there if you want to read them. But Zach's stuff, really, really good. Definitely check that out before the weekend. Jordan, did you fire off our Twitter poll of the Cowboys as well before we move on from the NFL?
No, I was going to wait until we launched the podcast.
That works. That's fair. That's smart.
Then the
Sounds
Cowboys
good.
might have it.
Sounds-
They might, the poll might be irrelevant by the time we release the podcast on Thursday. But no, so we're going to talk CFP a little bit because the national championship game is all that is left for college football. It feels like just a few weeks ago we were talking about how Florida State is the worst team in the country and they lost to Georgia Tech in Ireland, and now we're here. And speaking of Ireland, we do have an Irish team in the national championship, kind of.
I thought he was going to say it just feels like a few months ago.
Yep, just a few months ago. So, Notre Dame, Ohio State. Do we want to talk about the games a little bit themselves, the Orange Bowl, and
They were so good.
they were so good.
Before we get into
I know
before
Jordan's
we get
looking
into
forward
any
to
of that,
I don't think Jordan wants to talk any more on the podcast, but we're going to make him talk. What? Yes, Cameron, go ahead.
before we get into any of that, I want to point out that me and Landon were the only two people who correctly picked the national championship.
Is that
game.
right?
Yeah, that's right.
sir.
Yeah.
That's right. I did not put a correct graphic out there. I'm sorry, guys.
You were the only two to pick it after we picked the Final Four. After we picked the round before
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Oh, you're just saying
Oh.
like last time on the pod.
Yeah, last
time on the
Correct.
podcast.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Yeah.
Don't take this
I
away
think
from
I
me, Jordan.
I think I picked Penn State. Well, my original bracket was Oregon and Georgia. So
Yeah, my original bracket was Texas and Oregon. No. Sorry, Texas and Georgia. That was it. Sorry.
yeah, the Ducks really showed up.
Anyhow.
SEC homer here.
Where
So
are we starting with this?
I want to. I really just. They were both so good. Both games were so good. Riley Leonard is an absolute dog.
Yeah, let's start with that.
No,
game.
we're definitely starting there. Riley Leonard,
So-
absolute
I watched the
dog.
first half of that game and then had to go do some other stuff, but I was like following a little bit on my phone.
Mhm.
And then I saw 24-24 with 10 seconds left in the fourth, and I was like, ooh, good game.
Yeah.
It looked, from what I saw, to be a really good game.
And honestly, Penn State kind of was controlling that early.
They were.
Yeah.
They really were.
And I thought they were. The score didn't indicate what I thought they were doing to Notre Dame, and then they got that score before halftime with their backup quarterback,
Mm-hmm.
and
so
that
bad
changed
for
the
James
game.
Franklin, man.
Changed the game.
That dude is 1-15 against AP top 5 teams.
Oof.
Well, it was almost like, because like when we're going into it, I was kind of like, all right, like I think Penn State's going to let down here, and then Penn State, like you said, Zach, like they look like the better team for the majority of the game, and I was like, this is it.
First half.
I was like, this is his breakthrough moment. This is finally James Franklin moment, and then Notre Dame just being Notre Dame in 2024, just hanging around. They're there. They're still there. You got to put them away. They didn't put them away, and then Drew Aller makes a mistake that's going to be talked about for a really long time. I don't even blame the kid because he was just trying to make a play at the end of the game. It was a dangerous throw. It got picked off. It cost him the game. I don't blame him at all. I know some people will, but I thought he played great, and so you can't really knock him for that. It's just a mistake that happens, and Penn State loses, and now Notre Dame's playing for a national championship.
I want to say something about Notre Dame.
Go ahead.
Because I'm like known Notre Dame hater guy. And I think I have figured it out. I think the most unlikable part of Notre Dame is now coaching at LSU. I think it was Brian Kelly.
He said Rudy.
Oh, okay.
Marcus Freeman's incredibly likable.
He really is.
He's much more likable than Ryan Day for most people, and he's certainly more likable than Brian Kelly.
Yeah. I can't remember.
I think my Notre Dame hatred has come because maybe it's not Notre Dame I hate. Maybe it's Brian Kelly.
Did I say this on the last pod, or did I say this in our group text? It was like, I saw a tweet. It was like, maturing is realizing that you didn't hate Notre Dame football. You just really hated Brian Kelly.
I think that's what it is for me.
And I think that's like that.
So
that
unlikable. And Marcus Freeman's the polar opposite of that.
Do you remember?
I don't know. I also hated Charlie Weiss's fat ass.
Okay, I was wondering, like, did you hate Charlie Weiss's fat face with like Brady Quinn and Jeff Samardzija and them back in the day?
A long time ago, like way before Brian Kelly was even there. But I do think that he certainly helped increase my hatred for Notre Dame.
Here's the thing. Even when I was just a thought in my parents' heads, I hated Lou Holtz.
I think you mean Lou Holtz.
Lou Holtz.
Oh my gosh.
Fucked with a lift.
Oh no.
Lou Holtz is a West Virginia boy, and then beat up on West Virginia in the national championship game. Freaking asshole.
The nerd. I think you mean asshole.
Oh, there's the podcast name. Lou Holtz is an asshole.
Yeah.
No, don't do that.
Which, by the way, what's his face from Barstool, or not Barstool?
Pat McAfee.
The Pat McAfee show just does the best impression.
Yes, he does.
Dude, I know there's going to be a viral clip of him talking like Lou Holtz before this national championship game. It's going to happen. No, I mean, it was.
I sent all these letters, handwritten letters.
And as good as Notre Dame played in that second half in particular, if Drew Aller doesn't make that mistake at the end, maybe Penn State's kicking the game-winning field goal, or it's in overtime, and who knows what happens.
You want to know the tragic thing?
He's going to be so pissed about that for so many years.
Yeah. I mean, you can't fault the kid for wanting to make a play. No. The tragic thing for me, I saw Notre Dame score that touchdown with like 2 or 3 minutes left. Phenomenal play to tie the game up. And then I fell asleep and woke up with Scott Van Pelt talking to me on the television. And I was like, whoa, what happened? I was like, how did the game finish?
Oh my God.
And
been there, done
so
that.
that was really unfortunate, man, because I missed a good ending. But
wait till you turn 30.
Oh no, I do it.
You'll be doing that a lot.
I'm a week away from turning 30. Don't remind me. So.
I feel like my professional age is about 40, thanks to college athletics.
That's how that works.
Hey, the day I turned 30, I called our athletic trainer. It was during COVID. The day I turned 30, I called our athletic trainer and said, "I can't move."
And she said, okay, well, like, what happened? And I said, I woke up and now I can't move.
Yeah.
And I spent a good chunk of COVID on a foam roller because I was apparently too old to live in the modern world or whatever.
Yeah.
No.
Like I just like looked hard one way and it's like you done.
Dang, getting
You're-
old sounds
look.
like it sucks.
You're never too old. You're never too old to have kids, though.
True story.
That is
Woo!
that is true.
Swimmers are Olympian, dude. All right.
On that note, Jordan, what do you think of that Texas game?
Yeah,
Are we done with Notre Dame?
we're done with Notre Dame.
Yeah.
Congratulations to the Irish for making the national championship game. Jordan, wrap up your Texas Longhorns season and let's pick a national championship game and hang a banner.
Listen, first of all, the scoreboard at the end, the fumble, the turnover, the fumble for 6, the score makes it look like it wasn't as close of a game as it was. But even
Texas was a play away from tying the game.
yes, Texas season ended in the red zone, a game away from the national championship for the second year in a row because of bad play calling. You just can't get out coached every week and expect to beat really good teams. You just can't.
What was your reaction to the second down toss outside play?
My daughter might have heard some new words that day.
Dude.
Because I said, give the ball to Trey Wisner. And then I said, no, not like that, you effing idiot.
Yeah.
To go from 1st and goal on the 1 to 2nd and goal on the 8, that's a coaching thing, man. Also, I don't know that they've called a pitch play all season long.
From the shotgun was weird. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was just so bad. It was so bad. Like, you know how when you play NCAA football and like
I didn't get it.
Like the one play on NCAA football that just doesn't work, and like the modern version is like the halfback toss. I hate that play. I hate it. I absolutely hate it.
Doesn't work.
I think Jordan sent that message in the group. It was like, what are you, like, out of these 3 plays, like, what do you hate the most? It was like, what were the 3 plays you sent?
The
draw play, screen pass,
the
Throw it up
delayed
for a
handoff,
PI.
and the throw up the ball with no intention of getting a completion. Just
I think you need to add a halfback toss in there, but no, like that play just didn't. God, it didn't make sense. You have so many other options.
If you're gonna do that, go to Jaden Blue. Go to your quick back that can turn that corner.
Where was Arch Manning? Why did
that was bingo, Hunter? I was waiting for Arch for at least a play down there.
I don't understand how your 6'5", 225 highest recruited quarterback of all time is on the sidelines there.
I know you wasted the snap through Gunnar Helm's legs earlier in the game, but like, you're telling me you can't go quarterback power right there and give Arch a chance on the 1?
Well, he at least gets you back to the line of scrimmage.
Yes.
Why not put Gunnar Helm back in there at quarterback and let him do it?
I'm about to say, go quarterback power, let Gunnar Helm lead Arch Manning. He's at least getting you another inch closer.
There were a million, maybe more than that, play calls that would have worked in that situation, and Steve Sarkisian somehow drew up the absolute worst one. Now,
look,
I want to back up though, because the only reason that people are talking about that is because it was a 1-possession game. It would have tied the game, right? Before all of that, the first half, Ohio State shot themselves in the foot several times with very key penalties that halted a drive or something like that. If Ohio State plays a clean football game, and by clean I mean they minimize the penalties, I don't think that game's close. I think they win it by 3 or 4 scores.
It was starting to look like the Tennessee and Oregon games early. And I was like, oh my God, this is a juggernaut. Nobody can stop them. This is one of the best defenses in college football. Nobody can stop them.
Their penalties kept that game close to me. And what had been Texas's strengths all year were their O-line and their defense. And they both kind of let them down, to be honest. People are mad at Quinn over the fumble. His right tackle didn't even touch the guy.
Yeah.
I think they got out coached, and I think Ohio State is a far superior team. When we started at the beginning of the football season, I said I think the top 2 talent teams in the country are Ohio State and Oregon. And I would actually love to see them play a third time. Because Ohio State lost to them by 1 on the road and then beat the pants off them at a neutral site in the playoff.
And they just didn't even look ready. Oregon just didn't even
in the country.
Oregon just didn't even look ready for that game.
Yeah.
And I truly do hope that Ryan Day was actually coaching for his job after the Michigan game, because if that's true, he has absolutely silenced some haters, man.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
He didn't get to go run through SMU and Indiana in the playoff.
Tennessee.
He had to go play real teams, including the number 1 team in the country.
Tennessee, Oregon, Texas, Notre Dame. If they win, like that's an all-time run.
Yeah,
that's an all-time run.
I also did have the thought that if Texas had won that game, it would have been the first them getting to the national championship would have been the first ever 17-game college season.
Oh yeah.
So it did make me wonder, because they played A&M really tough. They played Georgia to that double overtime game. They played, it's Arizona State just a week ago. They've played a lot of football in a month, man. That's an NFL schedule for those guys.
And I think that's why we had, in terms of like maybe not the first round, but most of the second round was pretty good games. Semifinals was good games, because there weren't massive breaks anymore.
Right.
Whereas you typically had a month and a half between those games, and it looked like it usually.
They had only played one more game than Ohio State, but that one more game is a huge difference.
Well, and I was going to say the only reason these two won't play 17 is because neither one played for a conference championship. Obviously,
Correct.
Notre Dame doesn't,
Correct.
and Ohio State didn't make it. So,
which should tell you the importance of conference championship games, but that's for another episode.
Have you guys seen the line for the game?
I have not.
What do you think?
Do you have it?
Preliminary thought. I have it. What do you think it is?
My guess would be Ohio State, maybe like 4.5.
Honestly,
my guess when you texted us the other day was Ohio State minus 6.5.
Yeah.
I think it's I think it's there.
Today, so I can't.
Oh, you saw it, Landon.
I think it's it's either 5.5 or 6.5.
Would you believe me if I told you on ESPN Bet right now it's 8?
Damn.
8 even?
8 even
now
for a national championship game.
What is
It's not that bad. It's one possession.
Yeah.
No, it's not bad.
Right.
But make it a half a point somewhere.
What do y'all think?
For the betting purposes.
And I wonder if it'll change at all in the next week here.
What do y'all think?
I'm curious though where it opened at.
That's a good question.
It opened at 9, I believe.
Oh yeah, it opened at 9.5.
9.5. Yeah.
And
So
it's down to
8. 7.5 by kickoff.
It'll probably be
7.5.
7.5 or 6.5. Yeah, probably 7.5.
What do y'all think the get-in ticket price right now
I
is?
saw some that were.
Hold on. Where are they playing it?
It's in Atlanta.
And I'll give you a hint. The Cotton Bowl get-in price was $580.
I think it's like north of $2,000. So
for
I'm
the
gonna
national
go
championship.
National championship.
Notre Dame and Ohio State.
Yeah, I'm gonna go $2,200.
For get in?
Yeah.
There's no way it's
Get
that
in.
high.
Yeah,
nosebleed. I don't think they have any standing room, but nosebleed tickets.
$800.
I don't even know if it's that much. Like I would say like 600 or 700.
I would say higher than all of those.
I'm looking at it right now. Earlier, whenever I looked at it, it was $1,350.
Oh my
Damn.
god!
It is still it's $1,350. Get in price.
I believe that.
Wow.
I mean, but like, I don't know what y'all sports, like your favorite sports team, but like, if Mississippi State ever played for a football national championship, they're not going to in my lifetime. They're not going to ever. But if they did, I would sell everything I own to be in that damn stadium. I don't care if I'm at the very tippy
that's
top.
what you guys witnessed it when I went to the Final Four.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I was like, I gotta go.
Yep.
I gotta go.
You gotta go. So
I love that a team from Ohio and a team from Indiana are just going to play in
Georgia,
the heart of SEC country. By golly,
yeah, the two teams that the SEC probably as the outside hate the most are playing in the building that hosts the SEC championship.
I'm glad that it didn't end up being Ohio State, Penn State.
That would have been crazy.
Like Texas and Georgia.
Yeah.
because we've done that in the SEC for a while.
This
Yeah.
format, though, was designed to find a true champion, to eliminate the argument of who belongs and who doesn't.
What a
And to me,
phenomenal
there's
year!
no arguing right now that Notre Dame and Ohio State are the best two teams in the
What a
country.
phenomenal year for the expansion to take place. Like,
question.
this was a great case study of why we needed the
Oh, yeah.
expansion.
The two teams
yeah.
in the national championship would not have been in the final four.
100%.
And I think the only fix is you just seed it differently. You know, you just rank, you just do it better. Base it off the rankings. Don't worry about ranking your champions wherever. Just
they're going to go to 16, and
you get your automatic qualifiers. You rank them how they're ranked, and you go
I'm not
play.
sure I'm against the expansion to 16 because I think
it'd be great.
I do think though
that would be all of the teams that had the first round bye.
As a consumer, and if you're gonna give me more football, I'm checking the box for yes.
The only expansion that's been discussed thus far is a 14 team.
Yeah,
and that's the only place they could go right now. And that would be earliest 2026.
Right.
So that would be the NFL playoffs.
Yep,
correct.
And why not do that?
Jordan, I agree. Why not go to 16?
If you're going to go to 14, go to 16.
You might as well.
Yeah.
Just get rid of your buys. Go do it.
And I think we shared it on the PBAD Twitter. I love that somebody put in the what the bracket would look like if we had the FCS playoffs, 24 teams.
Oh yeah,
in there. You know, I mean, I think that's too many for FBS personally at the level of football that is. But I think 16 is the right number, but they'll get there eventually.
My only thing with 16 is if you do 16, you take away the conference championship games because, like Jordan already mentioned, you know, Texas could have played a 17th game. If you're taking away the bye, take away.
I don't think you take away the.
You take away week 0.
You take away
a regular season game.
Labor Day.
So you just go to 11
you would
games.
I would. Yeah,
that's fine. That's fair.
Or 10. Or you go to 10, make it even. Yeah.
But
make them all conference. Well,
I think you do 11 because doesn't FCS they play 11, right?
You could do 10 conference maybe.
They bumped to 12. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Real quick around the table.
Suck it, Hunter. What?
No, Ohio State, Notre Dame. Jordan, go.
I think you're muted.
You lost your microphone. All right, we'll get back to it.
I'll take Ohio State, man. They're playing hot. They're playing too well at the right time. I think they're the best team in the country.
Landon,
save the graphic because I know where this is going. Notre Dame.
Cameron,
did you guys see the tweet of the guy who said he was going to cut off his what if Notre Dame won the national championship?
Oh no.
And he said he did say that if Notre Dame does win the national championship, he's going to stick to his word and make that transition at some point in his life. But
wow, that sounds like a guy
he's
that
now
just needs an excuse.
He's now very worried, and debatable. With that being said, I think him and his little guy are they're in safe hands. I think Ohio State wins this one.
What a swerve! What a swerve, Zach.
I had no idea where you were going with that.
I can't believe I worked in Choppy Pee-Pee and Hunter didn't pop bigger for that.
Oh, I didn't hear it. I'm sorry. That's a great wrestling reference. Zach never heard that.
Buckeyes. I'm going Ohio State.
I think this might age badly, but I think Ohio State's just going to dog walk them. I don't even think it's going to be close.
I hope it's close.
For the record, I agree.
Okay.
Just save the graphic.
There you go.
I hope it's close because you always want a close national championship game. I don't think it's
I don't want Georgia TCU.
Jordan and I talked about
it won't be that bad. I could see
Jordan and I talked about it. The winner of the Ohio that was a national championship.
That was the national championship game. I think it was.
Yeah,
it was
the
the
national championship.
That was so good.
That people think it is.
I mean, the NFL talent on that field was insane.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, it was so good.
It was good.
The game was so good.
All right. Let's hang a banner and let's get out of here, boys, for episode 14.
Forgot about that.
No, you don't have to hang one if you don't have one to hang, Landon. Do you have one to hang?
I'll figure it out. Well,
that other guy's not going to have one to hang here pretty soon. Got him. I'll go first if you want.
Yeah, go ahead.
I can get mine out of the way. I actually looked this one up because the news came across today, so I wanted to see some things. I am hanging a banner for my hilarious jokes during Cubs games that are no longer going to exist because they have traded Miles Mastrobuoni.
Oh no!
He is now in Seattle, and I don't get to watch Miles Mastrobuoni when he's going up against Dick Mountain or whoever wants to pitch against him. Holy shit, it was so funny.
That's the
last
most
year.
Seattle Mariners name I've ever heard in my entire life.
Yeah, Miles Mastrobuoni. He only played in 50 games. He did only hit 194, so he's a really solid trade piece.
Sounds like a Seattle Mariner already
for Seattle.
Is he a middle infielder?
And I would like I want the Mariners to know that with Miles Mastrobuoni, they are in good hands.
Oh. Jordan,
Hang
I
a
love
banner.
you, Zach.
that was great. Jordan, go ahead and go.
I'll go next. And Hunter, you might want to sit this one out because it's going to hurt your feelings a little bit.
Oh God,
Your
Hang
feel
a
bad.
banner to the SEC dominance in college football. 2 years in a row, we have a national championship that doesn't feature an SEC team.
Whoa.
The SEC has no idea who their premier team is. It Texas? Is it Georgia? Is it Tennessee? Nobody knows. Oklahoma came over, and everybody thought 5 years ago, if Oklahoma was going to make a jump, that they would continue to be in national championship conversations. They're not. Texas A&M is struggling to find their identity. Missouri might be on the up, might not be. We don't really know. They have an identity crisis in the SEC. And for so long, for 10 years, we were told how they were just the best conference in football, and it was just different for them boys down south. And it's not. Notre Dame and Ohio State are the best two teams in the country a year after Michigan and Washington were the best two teams in the country. So hang a banner to the heyday of the SEC that is now behind us. Suck it, Hunter.
Yeah, the SEC's best days, at least for now, are in the rearview mirror for sure.
And going into next year, I have no idea who's going to win that conference.
No idea. It's wide open. It's absolutely wide open. I want to talk about it.
Be in the mix, but I don't know what they're going to be.
I want to talk about it a lot. There's a lot of changing going on in the SEC. It's going to be a very
lost 14 dudes to the draft already.
Yep. Very fun off season coming up for the SEC because that conference is an absolute open door. So, oh God, no.
Get out of here with that.
They took our theme song. A beautiful day in Southern California with that theme song going in the background doesn't make any sense. Stop it.
The Home Depot Big Ten on CBS.
Stop it.
I just had to throw that in there.
They took the best theme in sports. All right, let me go next because mine is also SEC relevant. Hang a banner.
No, the SEC is not relevant.
Right.
Okay. Sorry. My bad. It's not relevant. My bad. Hang a banner to the mystery SEC coach that slid in the DMs of Sidney Thomas. So this came out a couple days ago on Twitter that Sidney Thomas, the ring girl who went viral after the Jake Paul, Mike Tyson fight, put that in quotes there, obviously for her looks. And she revealed on a recent podcast that there was an SEC coach that slid in her DMs after the Mike Tyson, Jake Paul fight. And I have to solve this mystery. So if she ever listens to this podcast, she won't. But if she ever did, Cameron's single for one. And then number two, we have to know who did it. Who did it? I got to know who slid in the DMs. And I have two suspects. And I have their photos right here to show that I think the suspect number one right here, if it's not this man, then I don't know who is. Hugh Freeze is notorious for doing things like this. He's suspect number one. but I think we all know who really slid in them DMs.
It was lame.
Joey Freshwater would like a word, and I just got to put Lane Kiffin on there. Look, I respect it. Shooter's going to shoot. But my God, how hilarious is that an SEC coach DM'd her after the Jake Paul, Mike Tyson fight? One of the weirdest stories that came out in the world of sports already this year in 2025. And only in college football could something like that happen. There's no other sport. There's just no other sport.
A college football coach, an SEC football coach?
What?
Did she say it was an SEC football coach?
Yeah, she said it was an SEC football coach. The actual quote from her.
Like Calipari?
What?
Could it have been like Calipari?
No, she said it was an SEC football coach.
Okay, and it was a head coach.
Now, it could have been an assistant coach. The tweet that I saw, but from what I've seen, the majority of Twitter has confirmed it was a head coach, but it also, the main tweet that broke the story said it was an SEC coach.
Listen, if Vegas put odds on that, Lane Kiffin would be like minus $1 million.
Oh my God. Lane Kiffin, Hugh Freeze.
Urban Meyer.
Not near.
Wouldn't it be funny though if it was just someone you didn't expect, like Eli Drinkwitz or Sam Pittman or something?
Sam Pittman. Oh, that'd be great. Who's the guy for Texas that married Pole Assassin? What if it was him? Is he still at Texas, the special teams coordinator or whatever he was?
I don't know what you're saying.
No?
Married a
Y'all don't remember that guy?
What?
Oh, he coached at Texas, Jordan. He was like the special teams coach.
Yeah.
He ended up dating the exotic dancer that was named Pole Assassin and ended up marrying her. She had the monkey that bit the kid.
I wish somebody would come coach special teams at Texas right now.
Oh, no.
Kickers,
Sorry, I mentioned another bad Texas football. No. Sydney, please reveal to the public, to the whoever it was. We got to know. We just have to know. So hang a banner.
You're gonna have to
reveal.
You want her to reveal exactly?
Reveal to the public.
What's she revealing?
Who the coach was. Reveal
it out.
Reveal it.
Oh.
Let us know. Tell us who slid in the DMs. We have to know the coach that did it.
We are so deep in this rabbit hole, we cannot dig ourselves out.
Boobs. What?
Boobs and choppy pee-pee.
Oh, no.
I'm not paying attention. Am I going to have to cut this?
No, you're good.
No.
You're good.
Keep it in.
It's fine. It's fine. Leave it in.
Keep it in.
Cameron or Landon,
All
one of y'all hang
right.
a banner.
I don't have one, so Cam can go.
All right, I guess I'm hanging my banner right now. Hang the banner. We already talked about him this podcast. Mike Tomlin. In year 18, he has still not had a losing season.
Crazy.
Despite being 8-11 in the playoffs. And that's four. That includes a Super Bowl winning season. So outside of his Super Bowl winning season, he's 5-11 in the playoffs, and that includes 4 wild card round losses in the past 5 years.
Gross.
And won't get fired.
If you haven't seen it yet, I saw it this morning. You need to go find the video that Barstool Sports posted from their podcast with John Gruden, and a Steelers fan from Wheeling, West Virginia, actually called in and just went on an absolute tirade about Mike Tomlin, and it was fantastic, to the point where John Gruden was like, we got to get this guy some merch. This guy's fantastic. We got to get this guy some merch.
Gruden's
Mike Tomlin, year 18. He's had 3 even seasons back when they were 16-game seasons, but has not had a losing season yet. So hang the banner.
I loved him in Love and Basketball. Guy looks just like Omar Epps.
He does, actually. I've never thought of that.
Oh, man.
Landon, no pressure, buddy.
Oh, I've got nothing.
Just a
banner to Landon for remembering how to save a podcast this time.
We're gonna hang a banner for Landon on Thursday morning when he actually posts the podcast.
Landon's thinking about other things right now.
What's Landon? We got to hang a banner for something for you later.
What about the golf league, Landon? Both of you and me have been talking about the golf league. Why don't you talk about that?
Yeah, actually, you know what? That's a great point.
Yeah.
Hang a banner to Top Tracer because they're just yoking shots tonight.
Yeah.
And all these professional golfers think that they're
What are they doing to shots?
yoking them.
They're yoking them. Haven't you ever heard that term before?
Oh,
I think our podcast.
I yoke them, you yoke them, he, she, me, yoke 'ems.
No,
what happens?
the balls are going like 30 extra yards.
Yeah, they're going so far. It's incredible.
I've never yoked. I don't think I don't. Well, maybe I have golfing. I don't know.
How are we this many episodes in and you forget to hang a banner every single week?
I love it. I love it. And literally, I sent Landon the matchup tonight because Tiger played tonight, and I was like, okay, maybe this will like spark Landon's mind to talk about golf a little bit on the podcast, and he completely forgot.
Hey, random side note: Tiger Woods' kid is going to be an absolute.
He is going to
100%.
absolutely run the world of golf.
I do have something to add here. So they had that on ESPN tonight, this new golf league.
Yep.
And which, by the way, I think is a cool concept. But anyway, they had it on ESPN tonight, and Duke basketball tweeted from their Twitter account, we are live from Cameron Indoor Stadium, or we're live on ESPN. And then everyone in the comments responded and said, no, we're not. The stupid golf league is live on ESPN right now. And they didn't switch to the Duke broadcast until like 30 minutes into the game or something like that.
I was watching
the
TGL golf, and it you know the little box that comes up in the top right corner that says this program is, I saw that. I was like, oh my gosh, we're showing
I can't believe Duke basketball Duke basketball got bumped 14th. To ESPN News.
Also, shout out to the SID that scheduled that tweet and didn't realize.
Yep.
Yeah.
That sucks.
Life of
hang
an
the banner
SID.
to that SID. There you go. Happy.
Good hang the banner there, Landon.
I liked it, Landon. It was really good. Way to finish it out strong there. But no, we are Press Box After Dark.
When we record this again next week, we're going to do a hang the banner. You might want to go ahead and start preparing.
We're not recording next week.
Oh, Jesus.
You don't know that.
I do know that.
The people don't know that. We are Press Box After Dark. You can catch all of our podcasts on Spotify and Apple Music at Press Box After Dark. Give us a listen. Give us a follow on Spotify. Give us a review, too. 5 stars or 1 star. However you feel. Just give us a review. Come on. You know, we're not that bad. We could be bad.
I don't think I've ever heard somebody solicit 1-star reviews at the end of the podcast.
Reviews are reviews at this point. We got to get people listening to the podcast. So Apple Music, Spotify, if you listen to your podcast that way. We're also available on YouTube. You can see our beautiful faces.
You got to stop saying beautiful.
Yeah, okay. I'll come up with another term. But we are on YouTube. Please subscribe to us on our YouTube channel. That's at Pressbox After Dark. We're trying to hit 100 subscriptions before the end of 2025. So just hit that subscribe button for us. We got podcasts coming out hopefully every week. So check us out. Give us a follow there on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter at PressBoxAD. Interact with us. I know the Coconut Brawl guy from the Auburn Mississippi State men's basketball game helped us out a lot there. Jordan had to turn off his Twitter notifications because we actually had a tweet pop off there. So shout out to the
turned off everyone's Twitter notifications. So sorry.
Sorry. Oh, great. Shout out to the Auburn basketball Coconut Brawl guy in the jungle. They beat the shit out of Mississippi State. But you can follow us on Twitter at PressBox.
Add him to the list.
Add him to the list. At PressBoxAD on Twitter. Follow us, interact with us, like a tweet, retweet it, whatever they call it.
He
lost it.
He ran out of steam.
Damn it, I lost it. No, follow us on Twitter, and then I guess since TikTok's banned, I guess don't follow us on TikTok. I don't know if it doesn't get banned. Follow us on TikTok at PressBoxAD, and then we're on Instagram at PressBox After Dark. If TikTok gets banned, come over there. Check out our reels on Instagram. I'm learning how to post those as well. So
nobody cares.
Nobody cares. No one cares about Instagram right now.
Nobody's listening anyway.
No, nobody's listening anyway. If you made it this far and you don't follow us, then you're clearly not you really hate us. If you've made it this far in the podcast and you don't follow us on anything. So,
by the way, what?
Oh God, we're burning down. Oh no, what is that? Okay, well, Jordan's smoke alarm just went off, so he may or may not be in trouble. So I think we're going to wrap it up here. Normally Jordan said "suck it, Hunter," so somebody else say it before we get off here.
Suck it, Hunter.
Oh my!
Say
He's
it through
okay, I promise.
Okay, all right, he's okay.
We're
All
going
right.
through
Boney.
this thing every couple of weeks, and they beep exactly 15 times, and it's done.
15's a lot.
That's
Bad.
right underneath the damn thing.
That's so bad. That's so bad. This is the one where the smoke alarm went off. That's what the title of this one's going to be. So, all right, boys, I'm good. If y'all are good, what an episode. Hopefully, by the time we record again, the Cowboys have a head coach.
Suck it, Hunter.
Suck it, Hunter.
It's time for the Sonic drive of the game. And perhaps, as far as I'm concerned, the drive of the game may be our drive home from Starkville to Tupelo.
You can't fire me. I got a contract. I'm Reg